Hi everyone, I'm Alyna Haji Omar and I am the CEO of Thompson Sri Lanka. I come from a family of very strong-willed parents from both my mom's side and my dad's side. My grandmother, for instance, from my dad's side, she was 19 when she traveled from Syria over to Sri Lanka to be able to start her life here. And what I learned while I was growing up was that if you set your mind to it, you can do absolutely anything. So I grew up in a household where I was constantly told that I could be anything I wanted to be, as long as I worked really hard for that. It didn't matter what friends said, it didn't matter what people around me said, it didn't matter what the aunties and uncles said. Go ahead and become what you want to become, but you put in the work. I grew up really confident. I grew up believing this. As long as I put 110% into everything would work out. And then I came into the real world and I realized that you might really try hard and you might really give it everything you've got, but you're going to be confronted with failure time and time again. And I think in that process, in the early days, I became a little afraid. I questioned everything. Was I good enough? Was I smart enough? Did I speak right? Was I too tall, too fat, too something? And I let all of this self-doubt, self-criticism take over for a few years. I don't know that it was really apparent to people because I was still outwardly very positive. But what I realized as I allowed all of this doubt to creep in was that I was denying myself choice. I wasn't remembering all of the things that I grew up being told. I wasn't remembering that I needed to focus on something. I wasn't remembering that I needed to remember who I was. And not just remember who I was, I had to take the time to actually know who I was. If there was any point in my own story that I could point to as a turning point, I read something once that some years ago that really stayed with me, and I can really point to that as a moment where I stopped to take stock. Don't be afraid to be the kind of woman who likes herself. I realized that I had no idea what I was really passionate about. So I spent a little time wondering, okay, what would I be happy doing for the next 30 years? And as I explored that, and I explored all my ideas about who I was, I decided, no, I did not want to become a lawyer. I did not want to become a teacher. I wanted to explore who I was and what I loved through writing, through art, and that was really what led me to advertising in the first place. And what I can say through this entire journey is, thank God I spent that time really asking myself and talking, especially with my family, about the fact that I wanted to do something that would make me happy. So guys, I just leave you with this thought. Life is going to be full of a lot of things, and choose well based on what is important to you. Choose well based on who you are and what you want of your life. The freedom to choose is incredibly powerful. I think it is a gift that not everybody has, but everybody should have. And I think as women especially, we realize only perhaps as the years go on how very precious that ability to choose for yourself really is. Embrace that and choose well.
AMDT, inspiring creative minds.